Next up will be a session that I'll be giving on how to go from the COVID-19 to CoBuild20 and how you can re-enchant your storytelling to embrace the future, our future, and engage your audience. Today, an enchanted storytelling is essential for any brand or leader to not only in their communication, but also to inspire a movement to a common future. So welcome to a world of poetry. First, I'd like to read to you a poetic manifesto that's called the Regen Narrative, and how we can go from COVID-19 to CoBuild20 to collectively build the future in the 2020s. So it's called the Regen Narrative. Imagine 2. It's inspired by John Lennon's song Imagine. Imagine we all live in love in a world full of harmony. Imagine in all names of gods we reveal our true identity. Imagine a brighter future like Martin Luther, connected with nature as mature creatures. Imagine we fly high in the skies till the end of times through the wings of the poetry of life. Imagine we rewrite a bright story of mankind as a symphony of all living species. Imagine we realize we share a common identity as one united, caring family. Imagine we don't try to be number ones, but one together without numbers for once. Imagine we value the path of the ecology of life more than the economy of minds. Imagine we switch from brutality to humanity, from agony to harmony, market share to humanity sharing. Imagine we thrive from COVID-19 to CoBuild20 to collectively build the future as a regen narrative. Imagine we dream and act in a global pact of key positive impact with our planet postcard as a roadmap. Imagine we continue to lift the history of humanity to go from the US to the UN to the UH as united humanity. Imagine winning is not enough anymore and we need to win-win all together for an encore. Imagine we co-sign a better normal with 2 L's for all, rising from business as usual to business with a soul. Imagine it's humanity o'clock and the time has come to replace our personal income by our universal outcome. Imagine this manifesto is a sign of how poetry can give life to utopia, and we're all poets in the making. Imagine 8 billion people all co-creating equal, reminiscing on that song from the Beatles as a sequel. Imagine we are the regeneration, the one that rhymes with elevation, revolution, and real love as a solution. Imagine 2020, perhaps plenty, or do the math, agony 2050, collapse empty. The earth is our heart, and we can still choose our destiny if we finally decide to follow the we for infinity. So dear enlightened leaders and citizens of the world, this is an invitation to go back to essentials and let human kindness show its full potential as a call of the soul in the dome of our home, sweet home. CoBuild20, the regen narrative from utopia to reality. We're all family relatives. All right. So this is an example how you can change the words to re-enchant the world. Words are a world of wonder and can create a world of wisdom. They've always preceded reality, and words put together in a specific order are action. So if words do change the world, then change the words and you'll change the world. And it's maybe the first necessary step to change our mental matrix and go into a new world. Now, re-enchant the world with the virtues of poetry. Yes, and I'm saying that in the broad sense of what poetry is. Poetry as in poems, but also poetry as poetics, as a way to live poetically your life and see poetically the world. Poesis in ancient Greek actually means to create, to make. So the poet is actually a dreamer and a doer, a creator of new worlds. And I love those 3 quotes that I put on the slide. The first one from St. John, in the beginning was the Word. That's how essential the word is to actually convey communication and a message throughout the world. Also in Robin Williams from the Dead Poets Society, words and ideas can change the world. Words can change the world. And the last one from John Cocteau, the poet remembers the future. There's really some magic in poetry, and I'll take back the scene from Dead Poets Society when Robin Williams asked his students, what will your verse be? In your lifetime, what is going to be basically your footprint or your purpose or your impact or your action? What will your verse be? And that's a question I have for you, to actually answer that question in your lifetime, in your action. Now, to do that, I want to go through a 1, 2, 3, 5 matrix to answer that and find the solution to that. The first one is, the number one is the one goal. How can you make, and that's the aim, ultimate goal is to make a personal speech with universal reach. And basically how you can write a speech that touches everyone, pleases everyone, and actually have that universal language, that Esperanto, that can actually touch everyone through their heart. And that's the beauty of, I think, of poetry today, is that universal language, that it's actually heartfelt. And that's a way to put words together in order to have a universal impact and have that win-win. Words can be windows or walls. So remember to always, as a leader or a brand, use, you know, appeasing words and inclusive words that actually can create that balance between emotion and vision and horizon and action. Now, two is those two essential questions that I always ask in workshops is, for you, is basically, as a leader in a brand and a company, me plus the world equals what is my life mission, and us plus the future equals what is our horizon. And that duality, once you have that purpose and inner and uniqueness, that you find the purpose, that's the solution to the world that you can implement. Now, the number three is basically and I put that because it's the power of acronyms when you re-enchant your storytelling. It's very how you can actually have punchlines or memorable ways to put things out, and acronyms are very effective. What is the 3S of a lasting society for the future? Sustainability, you know, for circularity and what we do, but also maybe sobriety, you know, for that frugality and happiness side of it. It's a new word that we can put in the lexical field of, you know, sustainable brands and what we do today. And the third one, serenity, is, you know, that philosophy of life to have a complete, you know, matrix of a lasting society for tomorrow to create a better normal. Now, AAA also, AAA for oneself. As a, you know, as a leader of tomorrow, you know, there's always something that you need is the 3 A's. How can you be authentic and be yourself with sincerity? Aware of, you know, the SDGs and the main challenges you have to take on in the world, and also your alignment, how you can actually, your message and your action can really be aligned, and to become an enlightened and enlightening leader. So that, and number 4 is the 4 agreements, the 4 Toltec agreements. I'm sure you're aware of those. And I want to bring that because those ancient wisdom are a very good mixture of business to make a more human economic system for the future. And those 4 agreements are very basic, but very essential for life. As in any speech or any communication brand, first rule is to be impeccable with your word, how you speak with integrity, how you actually always do your best. Don't take things seriously. Don't make assumptions, but basically be impeccable with your word. All right, I'll go through because it's just to give you a teaser of what re-enchanted storytelling can be. And number 5 is the 5 P's of lasting prosperity. I've talked about that already before in the past in other SB Turkey editions. But basically, the 5 P's of lasting prosperity: profit, purpose, planet, people, and poetry is basically a great scorecard to use the 5 dimensions to solve the major problems of the world, of the future, and basically of all life, all the living species. So based on that, what storytelling and narrative can actually you create for the world tomorrow? The basic keywords that are generally used today are make it inclusive, regenerative, and collective. And the thing is that we can go from a status quo to a collective status, indeed. And the thing is, you in your DNA, what is your own story, in your history, your own singularity, what your own narrative can be for tomorrow, how you can make it authentic and real in accordance to your actions. So to answer that, this is an invitation I have for you today, is I want you to take some time, if you wish, to as an invitation to write with you and your teams your poetic dream for the world. What is your poetic dream for the world? And try to see then afterwards how your service, product, or solution contributes to solving that solution or reaching that goal. And, you know, I put the type of cities we want in the future, the power of images and words. Also, you want cities in AI or ecological cities? What actually, you know, is more uplifting and appeasing to you? And so basically, I'll give you mine. My poetic dream for the world is basically a world of harmony, including and balancing all forms of life, belief, and energy. And depending on your goal, remember that a goal is always a dream with a deadline. So that dream is always part of, of your roadmap also. So once you have that poetic dream, you can write a manifesto of your brand co-authored by all of you people, and to see what kind of message you want to convey and communicate in your media process, and having a story, a personal brand or leadership personal story that actually touches people and inspire them. So another thing that you can do also is to create new words in storytellings of the future. There's something called neologism. It's basically new words or expression. For example, take a webinar. It's basically a seminar on the web. That word didn't exist before, and it creates another matrix of brain process of thinking and visioning reality. And during the confinement, we were having a discussion with Virginia Elias, Chief Sustainability Officer at Procter & Gamble, and we wrote a op-ed on what a blueprint for a future, for a regenerative future could be. It's called CoBuild20, the regenerability, the future of sustainability. And basically, because we're asking that question is, take the word sustainability, for example. We've been using it for a decade. What does it actually mean? Does it mean the sustainability, the ability to sustain? But do we really want to sustain the past? Or do we want to create something new? So is it the ability of our common future ability, our oneness ability, our human ability, or our ability to regenerate resources to create a circular economy? And so basically it's that process of coming up with that word, regenerability, and throwing it to the world to create new perspective and change the world with it. So, and it's an invitation. You can read the blueprint. It's on the internet. You just type CoBuild20, the blueprint for a world post COVID-19 regenerability, and it's a full blueprint for the future, also to inspire you if you wish. And last thing I want to talk to you during this keynote is basically a teaser for a possible workshop or accompaniment on how you can write your storytelling or a speech for tomorrow. It's basically the 4H of brand leadership. And I will leave you with that. It's basically those 4 letters, those 4 words, or 4H of what should contain your speech or your communication in the future: humanity, horizon, harmony, and heart. And I'll go through it very quickly now. Heart is basically your genuine spot for your brand, your company, and your people. It's basically, if there's one word that defines you as a company or a leader, what is it? What is that gift for the world that you have to offer? That purpose, that own singularity that actually characterizes you. So that's the one word, which is actually the core of your speech and your brand communication. Once you have that, the humanity is basically your connection to yourself and your audience. What is your life mission statement, your values, your personal legend? The horizon is basically the dream, the destination, the roadmap that you have for you, for your team, and for the world to express it. And the harmony is basically the positive impact, social, environmental, human impact you want to have on the world to create a better world tomorrow. And I won't go into details in that, the example of brand campaigns, but we've seen Nike and Adidas come together for the George Floyd, merged together to create something new. The Alliance to End Plastic Waste, it's a beautiful alliance. I put Emmanuel Faber on it from Danone, went to the United Nations to talk about the cycles of life last year, which was kind of new. And also, just I don't know if you saw the Michael Jordan Netflix documentary, Last Dance. I love how the lady was referring to him, saying words can't describe him, his poetry and his motion. And that's what a message I want to convey to you as a brand or leader. Be poetry in motion. Have that grace of, uplifting us to something new. And one of the things you can do also in your storytelling is rename your KPIs, your key performance indicators. You can create a new scorecard based on more indicators of health, planet, ecology, happiness, purpose, and environmental impact. And, the KPI can actually be also a key positive impact and reorientate your business through that lineage. And last thing is, it's an invitation to be a leader, an influencer, and a storyteller, and create a desirable future. I love that quote from Saint-Exupéry. He said, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up people together to collect wood or assign tasks, but rather teach them or give them that desire for the endless immensity of the sea. And that's a way to actually, embrace the future and engage your audience into a beautiful world that you want to create. And I actually do believe poetry will save the world, that we're all poets in the making. And so please be that corporate poet, that master of your destiny, that captain of your soul, as Invictus was saying, and may our masterpiece be the future of our humanity. Because the common destiny of mankind was going to be decided in the next 30 years, from 2020 to 2050. So how we can be, choose cooperation over competition to co-write the future, be part of the solution, not part of the pollution. I love that quote from John Lennon also. He said, a dream is a dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream we dream together is reality. And I think it's beautiful to create a new world tomorrow. And last thing, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. I love that too. But how you brand can be a sunshine and to uplift people's lives in the future. So yes, do be careful. Yes, do be useful. But most of all, dare to be wonderful as a brand and a leader and a person. And so if you want to continue the discussion, I'd love to have a discussion with you on any one-on-one consulting, coaching, or workshops on team building, storytelling, and speech writing. Would be a pleasure if you want to write to me. You have my email here. And do please, in any case, remember to not necessarily be the best in the world, but also be the best for the world. Thank you very much. All right, so now moving